Okay guys, what's up? I'm going to do a review of the Black Ops 4 beta since we're done with weekend 1. I'll probably do one next weekend as well when the beta restarts. But until then, let's just go over what I like now and kind of what I feel neutral about and what I dislike the most. So what I like out of this beta is I like the Torque class. I like the class system in general, but I think I really do like the Torque. I think it's a really strong class. If it doesn't get nerfed, I'll be shocked, because you're basically going to have to run rockets if somebody's running Torque to get rid of the barbed wire, because it just pretty much zones you off. Even with tac mask, it still zones you off, because you take 2 ticks from it either way. I don't think you take damage with tac mask, but it still alerts the person that you're there, so they might end up nerfing it to where it doesn't alert you, which would definitely suck. But at the same time, I kind of would understand why, because you're using tac mask to counter it. But yeah, I like Torque. I like some of the SMGs. I think they're really good. Actually, I found a really good assault rifle. I think it was the Vesper or something like that. I think it's close to that. I think it's the level 25 or 26 assault rifle you unlock. It reminds me a lot of like the Honey Badger from Ghost. It just also deals a lot of damage like an SMG at close range, so it doesn't lose out, especially with rapid fire. I like the first SMG, but I think it's way too strong for what it is. I think that's about it for guns. I really haven't found any other guns I really truly enjoy, because some of them just have insane kick, like assault rifle wise, which makes them pretty hard to use. Score streaks wise, I think the strike team is pretty strong. They're like 2 juggernauts from the classic MW series. So if you just summon them, you just send them to the point, they just kill everything. They're 1350 to get, so they're not that hard to get. I think what other kill streaks are there that I like? I think the little robot's pretty interesting that you can get. It's basically this game's Cerberus. I think that'll do it for kill streaks. We've already talked about guns. We already talked about specialists that I like. I've played the other ones, and I'm not saying that they're bad. I just think that we'll get into those actually in the neutral section. But yeah, I think that's what I like about the game. The maps aren't that bad either. There's no definitively bad map so far. Let's go to neutral. In the neutral category, we have pretty much every other gun. I don't think any other gun's like ridiculous. Well, there is one gun class that's in the bad section, but we'll get to that. Anyway, let's talk about other specialists. In the neutral section, we have pretty much every other specialist except for the Seraph, and I'll get into that later as well. But I think the Nomad is just way too tricky to use with his trip mines, because you get these mesh mines that you just like put on the wall. You actually have to make the connection on the wall so it forms a laser. I just don't think it's very conventional. It's really hard to get set up sometimes, especially if you're trying to set it up to block off a wall. You have to get to both the left side and the right side, and people just aren't going to let you do that, so you have to get there way before they do. Let's see. The Prophet I think is good. I just don't like how the Tempest works in this game. I would prefer if it worked like it did in Black Ops 3, where it killed the target and then shot out electricity to nearby targets. Now it's more used as a suppression tool, where you hit somebody with it and they just go into prone and they can't fire or anything, and they can actually live from it. So I just don't care for that one in this game. Hopefully they change Prophet to what it used to be, because I mean, if you look at the how to use category for characters, because there's a menu for that, you'll see that they're using the old Tempest. It's got the old graphic and all that, where it's just, you know, you hold it up and fire, whereas now it's got like this ACOG sight, which is really weird too. I don't really care for that either. But yeah, I think that's really it. Everything else is just the way it was in Black Ops 3. Except, well, I guess Nomad's other ability is the dog, which can be annoying to control as well, but we'll get into that later as well. I think that'll go underneath the bad category. I don't think there's any, like, the rest of the score streaks, well, outside of one, I feel are just whatever. They're just typical Call of Duty score streaks. There's really not much to talk about there. The maps also fall under this category because, again, like I said, there's no really bad map. I think that's it. The game modes are the same except for Control, which is kind of like Battlefield inspired, I think, with life and tickets. You got to try to capture a zone from somebody within a certain amount of lives, and then you kind of can whittle their lives down too if you end up capturing the first zone. So, yeah, there's really not much more to talk about in the neutral category, I don't believe. Okay, guys, before we get into the bad, I want to go over something I forgot to mention in the good. I like the way the score streaks work, in that the points you earn towards them. With the torque, if somebody gets caught in your barbed wire, you're going to get, if it kills them, at least 325 points towards your score streak. If they just hit it and they don't have tac mask on, in most cases you'll probably get 75 to 100, which is pretty cool. So it encourages you to, play tactfully and actually use your specialist ability or your sub ability. I also like that assists, instead of giving 50, they now give a full 100 points, so even people who struggle to get kills can, help the team out by, hitting somebody a couple times and then getting an assist. I think it's really cool how they did the score streak system. So with that out of the way, let's hop into the bad. Or what I don't like, rather, sorry. Anyway, what I don't like is the Seraph's tac insert beacon. I think it's bad for the game. It's just going to encourage spawn trapping. I was glad when they got rid of tac inserts back in the day. It does not need to come back in this game. It's going to ruin this game by itself because they're insanely hard to destroy. And if you have the equipment charge ability, you're going to get 2 up at one time. Or you could even hang on to the other one in an emergency in case the other one does fall. And it spawns you away from the enemy, like it has a circle radius, it detects people. It spawns you away from them, or in some cases even behind the enemy, so you can shoot them in the back. I think that's dumb. But let's move on to the Nomad. I think the problem with the Nomad is the dog AI just needs an upgrade. It is really bad when the dog detects somebody and just runs up and barks at them and won't actually attack them. I think they need to fix that. It just seems weird to me that that's not already fixed. But anyway, let's move on to shotguns. I think that they should be up close, one-shot kill guns. Simple as that, like point blank. There's no reason they're not. So let's move on to, I guess, one score streak issue here. You'll see it here in a second when I turn left. Some of the AI controlled ones you can actually call in near geometry that you're not supposed to walk on, which you'll see here. He just falls over dead because he's too close to the wall, and I think the other one landed inside the tree over there. So they just die because there's no actual actual walk space for them. It's like a kill flag area, so you can't glitch into it. I think they need to fix that. It's been a problem in multiple Call of Duties with AI controlled score streaks that you can call in that actually have to go to the ground. World War II had an issue with it too, where sometimes you could call in the squadron and they would just get into walls and stuff and not be able to move, or they'd just fall off something and die instantly. Simple fix. The only other problem I have with the beta so far is that lobby times seem to be really weird. I don't know if it's bugging out or what, but map select's like 5 seconds, and then you have like 90 seconds in some matches to pick your guns and all that and your class setup. And in other matches, it's the normal like 20 seconds after the map is picked. They really need to fix that. That shouldn't be a thing. Nobody wants to sit in a lobby after the map is picked for, 90 seconds to 2 minutes. That's just dumb. It shouldn't be a thing. So just go in and fix that for week 2 and we'll be okay. I don't know. I doubt they'll actually remove the spawn beacon from the Seraph, but it's whatever. I think it does need to be removed. It's going to cause problems. I think this is a really fun Call of Duty. I'm debating if I want to get it. I think it's probably one of the better Call of Duties they've made in a while. I like that the emphasis is on team play this year instead of, run and gun, which you can still kind of get away with. So it doesn't actually hurt you, but at the same time it rewards you for team play. But with that, that's week 1 review in the books. I'll be back next week for another review. You can find me playing at twitch.tv/archon__Toonami. I play pretty much all week. I play a lot of games, obviously, but right now we're focusing on Black Ops 4 Beta, and we'll be doing it again next weekend as well. I'll be playing a lot of World of Warcraft when BFA comes out too, so if you're interested in that. But as for YouTube, be sure to leave a comment what you guys think of the